So these are the things I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be taking a grade on your rotational symmetry design. When you are at your tables, you're going to pull out your rotational symmetry. You're going to take one piece of candy, and if the color you want isn't in the bowl, it's too bad, so sad. You just pick out from what you have. If you pull out a blue raspberry, you're going to answer the question, what is one thing you could change to make your design even better? Think about just their overall design. What would you change? Would you color it in more? Would you add something? Would you fix one of your letters? If you have grape, how hard or easy is it to find your name, and why or why not? What would make it harder? What would make it easier? Watermelon, you're going to answer, where did you show rotational symmetry? This is what I'm going to ask you when I'm giving a grade on it. Green apple is going to be, did you show good workmanship? That means, did you color in neatly? Cherry is going to be, where did you show reflection, symmetry, or mirror image? You're going to have to find rotation or reflection. Don't eat the candy yet. Answer the questions first. When everyone at your table has finished, raise your hand. I'm going to come check, and then when I say you can eat it, then you can eat it and finish working on your project. Now when you're done with your project, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper that has your name on it, whatever paper you used. I'm going to give you a square piece of paper, and you're going to fold it just like you did for the project. You're going to make a name snowflake, corner to corner, corner to corner, corner to corner here. Just the same way. Folded it 3 times. How many sections? 8. Now you've already colored on the back. Actually, I need to leave it folded here. So I have. You already colored on the back, so you're going to trace your name one more time. Only this time for the snowflake, your letters have to be touching. So after you traced your name, you're going to make your letters touch each other, or what will happen? Okay, it can't be a snowflake if they're not touching. They have to touch side to side. They have to touch top to bottom. So I'm going to finish this quickly here, and then I'll show you what I mean. I'm doing the name pot sander. And then when you're done, you can compare it to your design. So here I have to make it touch. There, it's going to touch the O there. It's going to touch the top and the bottom. My O is going to touch the top. I might go a little bit here. It has to touch the top and the bottom. It has to touch the T. So I'm going to make, I'm just going to make it touch right there. And I think it'll make more sense after I cut it out. My T and my S are going to touch there. You can decide where you want the letters to be touching, but they have to touch somewhere side to side and top to bottom. But you still want it to look like, as much as you can, you still want it to look like your name. So I have my O, T, S, A, this is my A, N, D, E, it's going to touch right here, and R. My R has to touch somewhere. And then I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out, and I'm just going to first cut one side, just these little bits here. It's kind of like cutting a snowflake. This is touching a little bit right there, but not a lot. I don't have a lot to cut out right here. And then I would cut out of the bottom side when I'm done here. And I'll show you how to get the middle here in a minute. So I'm going to go to the bottom. Here's the bottom. And if you have a hard time, you might want to check, ask someone at your table too, to see if they can make sure that it's touching on the top and on the bottom and on the side. Now when I want to get the inside of the letters, that P I'm not even going to worry about because it's so tiny. You can kind of fold in half, and I know you're cutting through a lot of paper, but I'm actually just cutting like a triangle. It'll look enough like a circle. So the inside I have to fold enough that I can get my scissors in there, and it might not be perfect. That's okay. Just do the best you can. between here, because my goal is to still be able to see my name when I'm done, but I want to look like a snowflake. And the S, here it's going to be a little trickier because it's not symmetrical, so I folded it just enough to get my scissors in there, and then I'm going to cut it out. And it is pretty thick paper, so I do have to really work really hard here to get all this paper cut. And then the E's. Actually, I'm kind of going to cheat here. I'm just going to go up and around the E's, and I know that's not connected at the bottom, but for that one, I don't think there's any other way to do it. So there is, whoops, there is pot sander. And then I open it, and it hopefully will look a little bit like my design. You can compare it to when I'm done. So then you can see if you can find your name. And then you have your reflection symmetry here and your rotational symmetry going around.